The world is obsessed with hacks. We hear about the latest productivity tools, health routines, and life-changing tricks. But if you look around, people are more stressed, distracted, and overwhelmed than ever. They are on a treadmill, moving fast, but going nowhere. Most are reactive, governed by their emotions, and constantly seeking external validation. If you want to move into the top 1%, forget the hacks. You need a philosophy that has survived 2,000 years of human chaos. Stoicism. The habits of the Stoics are weapons for your mind. Let's break down 7 Stoic habits that will put you ahead of the 99%. 1. Objective representation. Most people go through life like a leaf in the wind. One negative comment and they're angry for hours. One setback and their whole day is ruined. The Stoic habit of objective representation breaks this cycle. It's about seeing things exactly as they are, without the emotional story we add to them. When someone insults you, they're not attacking your dignity. They're just making sounds with their mouth. When you lose money, it's not a failure. You've just returned currency to the world. This habit helps you stay calm when others are panicking. Your competitive advantage is your clarity while everyone else is clouded by anger and fear. Take a moment to think. How often do you let external events dictate your mood? How often do you let someone else's opinion affect your own sense of self-worth? Stoicism teaches us to break this cycle by stripping away emotional baggage and seeing the world for what it truly is. For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of getting angry, see it as just a car changing lanes. That's all it is. No need for emotional drama. Think about how you can train yourself to do that in other areas of your life. How much calmer would you be if you could consistently do this? 2. Awareness of the clock. Time is our most limited resource. The 99% live as though they have all the time in the world, procrastinating and wasting precious moments. But the Stoic lives with constant awareness of time. They know their time is finite, and that fuels urgency. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't about panic, it's about clarity. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Your focus sharpens, and each moment is approached with purpose. The truth is, no one knows how much time they have left. You could be gone tomorrow, so why spend today on distractions? When you realize this, you start living with intention. Every second becomes valuable. It's not about living recklessly, but prioritizing your passions and your goals. Think about your last week. How many hours did you spend mindlessly scrolling on your phone or watching TV? Now think of how much time you could have spent learning something new, improving yourself, or getting closer to your goals. Imagine if you treated every hour like the rarest currency. How would that shift your focus? 3. Voluntary hardship. Comfort is a trap. The 99% crave luxury, which makes them fragile. When they face discomfort, they collapse. But the Stoic welcomes discomfort. Seneca deliberately lived with little, wearing coarse clothing, eating minimal food, and enduring hardship to prove to himself that happiness doesn't rely on comfort. This practice builds mental toughness and resilience. When you walk through discomfort, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken. While the 99% flee from discomfort, you embrace it and grow stronger. The Stoics teach us to test ourselves. You don't have to go as far as Seneca, but consider the discomforts in your life. Cold showers, fasting, or taking the harder path in decision-making. These are all small discomforts that build strength. If you intentionally face discomfort, you start to see life through a different lens. Next time you face a minor inconvenience, like waiting in line or getting a cold, instead of complaining, think about how this is an opportunity for mental toughness. It's not about the cold shower or the long wait. It's about how you react and how you build resilience. 4. Radical ownership of your internal citadel. The core of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. Most people waste 90% of their mental energy worrying about things outside their control. The economy, the weather, other people's opinions. The Stoic doesn't waste energy on these external things. Instead, they focus on what they can control, their thoughts and actions. By owning your internal citadel, you become impervious to the chaos around you. It's the ultimate freedom. No one can take away your inner peace unless you let them. Focus on what you can control, your actions, thoughts, and decisions. Imagine living without the constant burden of worrying about things outside your control. It's like putting down an invisible weight that most people carry without realizing it. This mental freedom is powerful. The less you allow external factors to dictate your actions, the more clarity and peace you will have. When you focus on your own actions and mindset, you create a sense of agency that will propel you forward. The truth is, much of the anxiety and stress we experience comes from the feeling of being overwhelmed by things we cannot influence. But when you start directing your energy inward, you take back control. You no longer rely on external circumstances to dictate your emotions and responses. Imagine the weight being lifted off your shoulders as you learn to focus only on what you can change. You realize that many situations aren't worth your energy. It's about developing emotional resilience and choosing to act from a place of purpose. The power of this habit lies in the mental shift, from being a passive reactor to an active creator of your own life. Think about a situation you've been stressed about recently. Is it something you can control, or is it outside your influence? Write it down. Now ask yourself, what action can I take that is within my control right now? Start focusing on those aspects today and feel the difference in your energy and mindset. 5. The evening review. The 99% end their day with distractions, numbing themselves with screens. But the Stoic ends their day with a review of their actions. They reflect on their behavior, asking questions like, where did I lose my temper? Where was I selfish? What could I improve? This isn't about guilt, it's about growth. By reviewing and improving 1% each day, you build momentum towards becoming a better version of yourself. Small, consistent improvements lead to monumental change. The evening review allows you to catch mistakes in real time. It's like being your own coach, looking at your performance and deciding how to improve. The key here is consistency. Just a few minutes each day can be transformative. Over time, this habit creates a feedback loop that accelerates personal growth. The reflection is not about self-criticism, but about increasing self-awareness. You begin to identify patterns in your behavior and can make adjustments to improve. Tonight, take 5 minutes to write down 3 actions or thoughts you could have done better. Don't be harsh, just observe. Tomorrow, do the same. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, day by day. This simple habit can slowly turn you into a better version of yourself without overwhelming pressure. 6. Embrace failure as a teacher. While the 99% avoid failure at all costs, the Stoic embraces failure as a teacher. Instead of fearing failure, the Stoic sees it as an opportunity for growth. Failure doesn't define you, it's a part of life. When something doesn't go as planned, you ask, what can I learn from this? The fear of failure holds back most people. But once you embrace it, you unlock the potential to reach new heights. Failure isn't the end, it's feedback. The Stoic uses it as a stepping stone for progress. By embracing failure, you learn faster, adapt quicker, and become more resilient. It's the difference between someone who gets knocked down and stays down versus someone who gets back up stronger. Each failure holds lessons on what doesn't work and shows you new ways to approach a situation. Failure teaches you how to pivot and adjust when things don't go according to plan. What was your biggest failure this year? Instead of seeing it as a setback, reframe it. What lessons did you learn from it? How can those lessons propel you forward? Embracing failure doesn't just give you new knowledge, it gives you a mindset shift that allows you to navigate life's challenges more effectively. 7. Practice mental stillness. In today's fast-paced world, most people are constantly distracted. They're always rushing, never at peace. But the Stoic knows the importance of mental stillness. By practicing moments of silence, whether through meditation, walking in nature, or simply sitting in quiet, you clear your mind of the clutter. Mental stillness gives you the clarity to make better decisions, react less impulsively, and focus on what truly matters. Mental stillness isn't about avoiding life. It's about learning how to center yourself amidst chaos. In these moments of quiet, you regain control over your thoughts and emotions, creating space for better decision-making. Practicing stillness is like creating a mental filter, enabling you to discern between what's important and what's just noise. This clarity allows you to navigate the world with composure, making better decisions without being impulsive or overwhelmed. Incorporating these 7 Stoic habits isn't easy. If it were, the world would be full of sages. But if you commit to these habits, you won't just be ahead of the competition, you'll be in a league of your own. And when you master these habits, the world will lose its power to control you.